so my name is Kaylee, and I am going to be leading you through a short little review of the Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. First off, I want to say I absolutely adore this novel. It was really fun to read. I definitely laughed out loud a few times. The majority of the time that I was listening to this book, because I was using the Audible edition, I laughed out loud several times while I was hiking. One time while people were walking past me, and I probably looked insane. But it was very good. I really enjoyed this book. There were a lot of really good life lessons throughout it, which is definitely one of my favorite parts. I liked that it talked about emotions and emotional expression. It was right up front with cultural issues and cultural divides. It didn't shy away from the issues that people deal with on a daily basis in reservations and reservation culture. Now, it is a fictional novel, so I'm not sure how true all of it is. However, I do see that there is truth shining through a lot of this novel. Some of the key lessons that I feel as though were very predominant in the book, one of them was captured by a quote: "If every moment of a book should be taken seriously, then every aspect of a life should be," and that's in Slouching Towards Thanksgiving at minute 21:01. And I really liked this quote because it took this idea of learning all the mysteries from the novel and putting it into life lessons. Now, the character Junior, or Arnold Spirit, has learned a lot of life lessons. So he is a Native American living on a reservation who met with one of his teachers, who told him, "You don't belong here, you're gonna die here, you need to go be free and make a change for yourself." And so he decided he wanted to go to the rich white school 22 miles away. And something in the book that was really connected to that was all of the deaths somehow connected to this choice he made. Later in the novel, they have a quote that says, "One play can change your momentum forever," and that was in Like a Lion at minute 12:27. And I liked that this was connected to something not actually connected to the problem. Because you don't necessarily learn all of your life lessons when something bad happens. You learn some of them when good things happen. And so when that quote, he was talking about the first shot of the game between him and Rowdy and how he was able to block it and then make a 3-point shot. That was really interesting to me, and I liked that aspect. I feel as though this book did a good job balancing humor with real life situations. I'm somebody who's had to deal with a lot of death in my life. And so this book was really, really relatable for me, and I liked that it was upfront with issues of how everybody grieves differently. Right now there's this idea that you're supposed to grieve in one way, and my thing about this novel is that it kind of showed that everybody had their own grieving process, especially since in the first chapter, Black Eye of the Month Club, at minute 9:38, he said, "My comics are my tiny little lifeboats." So it points out that everybody has their own little sanctuary within a big life that they're living. And I also liked that he was upfront about how his body voted to shut down to make a few repairs in the Because Russian Guys chapter at minute 16:11. And that was really important to me, that they were able to be so upfront with the dark side of life while mixing it in with the humorous reality and how nothing really goes right, but everything works out in the end. And I liked that it also confronted alcoholism and how alcoholism has affected a lot of his family members, and had that message written and intertwined in almost all of the other lessons in the book. So it was really a core value for this author. It makes me want to do more research on the author's history or their background and see if they were coming from a situation where they frequently had to deal with that. I mean, if I were them, I probably would write about it as well as a way, as an outlet. Because the saddest guys make the happiest drunks. And so that was in Grandma Gives Me Some Advice at minute 4:14. So pretty much the novel was really good. There were some weaknesses in my opinion. I feel as though the Penelope character died off towards the end, and she could have been really crucial in the development of the character. I feel as though the sister character, in my opinion, was overall the weakest character in the entire novel. My reasoning for that is because they never really gave her a dialogue or any formal interaction with Arnold. So when she passed away and Arnold had that very aggressive reaction, I wasn't connected to that character, and it made it difficult for me to grieve with him for her, versus I was able to grieve with him because I've had that experience, but not that experience, very similar experience. I just wish they had developed her character and intertwined her a little bit more in her life, in his life. Like maybe had her drive him to school once. I know that she hung out in the basement all the time, but I feel like she needed a little bit more face time. That is my opinion of the novel. Again, overall, I really enjoyed it, and I want to see if this author has any more books to read, because I want to read more. Thanks for listening to my book review.